Jasmine Crockett humiliates Pete Hegseth live as he screams at a tense hearing on July 8, 2025, during a fiery House Oversight Committee hearing in Washington, D.C. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett faced off against Pete Hegseth, a prominent conservative commentator and Trump ally. As Crockett dismantled his arguments with surgical precision, Hegseth's voice rose to a shout, his frustration palpable. "You're twisting the facts," he yelled, slamming his fist on the table. Unfazed, Crockett leaned into the microphone and delivered a response that left him speechless. "I don't need to twist facts when the truth is this clear. You're just mad it's not your version." Her calm, cutting words stunned the room, cementing a moment of accountability that reverberated across national airwaves. Jasmine Crockett, the Democratic representative from Texas' 30th District, had earned a reputation for her sharp intellect and fearless rhetoric since taking office in 2023. A former public defender and state legislator, she brought a unique blend of legal precision and plain-spoken clarity to Congress. Her ability to confront powerful figures had made her a rising star, particularly among progressives. The hearing focused on the Department of Government Efficiency (DOGE) and its controversial budget cuts. Was a high-stakes platform. Hegseth, a former Fox News host and vocal supporter of President Trump's agenda, was invited as a witness to defend DOGE's initiatives, led by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. The hearing was part of a broader investigation into DOGE's impact on federal programs, particularly those affecting underserved communities. Crockett had been vocal about the cuts, which she argued disproportionately harmed her Dallas constituents, where 18% of households lived below the poverty line, according to a 2024 Census Bureau report. Hegseth, known for his combative style, was there to champion DOGE's mission to streamline government spending. The stage was set for a clash, with Crockett's dated, driven approach pitted against Hegseth's fiery rhetoric. As the hearing began, Hegseth took the floor, defending DOGE's cuts as necessary to eliminate wasteful programs. He cited examples like diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI initiatives, which he called divisive nonsense. Crockett listened intently, her expression neutral but focused. When her turn came, she challenged Hegseth's claims with a barrage of facts, pointing out that DEI programs had measurable impacts on workplace equity, citing a 2023 McKinsey study showing a 15% increase in employee retention in companies with strong DEI policies. Her tone was measured, but her words were pointed, exposing gaps in Hegseth's argument. Hegseth grew visibly agitated. "You're twisting the facts," he shouted, his voice echoing in the hearing room. He accused Crockett of pushing a radical agenda and claimed her criticisms were unserious. The outburst drew gasps from the audience, and Republican committee members nodded in approval, but Crockett didn't flinch. "I don't need to twist facts when the truth is this clear," she said. "You're just mad it's not your version." Her response was a masterclass in composure, turning Hegseth's emotional display into a liability. The room fell silent, with even some of Hegseth's supporters caught off guard by her precision. Crockett's takedown was rooted in her background. Growing up in St. Louis, Missouri, she had faced systemic barriers, from underfunded schools to racial prejudice. Her journey through law school and into politics was marked by resilience, a trait she displayed in the hearing. She had faced attacks before, including from conservative media. In March 2025, Hegseth had called her a lightweight on his podcast, dismissing her as a DA hire who lacked substance. Crockett had responded on X, writing, "If I'm a lightweight, why do you keep talking about me? Sounds like I'm heavy on your mind." Her ability to flip insults into opportunities had made her a formidable opponent. Hegseth tried to regain control, accusing Crockett of ignoring the real issues facing Americans, like inflation and border security. He leaned on Trump's talking points, claiming DOGE was saving taxpayers billions. Crockett countered with specifics, noting that DOGE's cuts to health care subsidies would affect 12 million Americans, per a 2025 Kaiser Family Foundation report. "You're not saving money when you're costing lives," she said, her voice steady but forceful. Hegseth's face reddened, and he raised his voice again, calling her out of touch and obsessed with handouts. The personal attack only fueled Crockett's momentum. "You call it handouts, I call it humanity," she said, her eyes locked on Hegseth. "The people in my district aren't asking for charity. They're asking for a government that works for them, not against them." She cited her own experience representing low-income clients as a public defender, emphasizing that policy impacts real people, not just numbers. Her words resonated with Democrats on the committee, who nodded in approval, while Republicans shifted uncomfortably. Hegseth, struggling to respond, repeated his claim that Crockett was unserious, but the repetition fell flat against her command of the facts. The exchange became the hearing's defining moment. Crockett pivoted to broader critiques of DOJ, questioning its alignment with Trump's broader agenda. She referenced Trump's refusal to comply with a Supreme Court ruling on Kelmar Abrigo Garcia, an immigrant wrongfully deported to El Salvador in 2025. "You defend a system that ignores the rule of law," she told Hegseth, linking his support for DOJ to Trump's constitutional overreach. Hegseth, a vocal Trump loyalist, bristled at the accusation, accusing Crockett of smearing the president. But her point landed, drawing murmurs of agreement from the audience. Crockett's performance was strategic. She had a knack for distilling complex issues into clear, relatable terms, a skill she attributed to her legal background. In a June 2025 interview with T.S. Madison, she explained, "I make it plain so everyone gets it, from the block to the boardroom." This approach shone through in the hearing, where she avoided jargon and focused on the human cost of policy. Her ability to stay calm while Hegseth shouted made his outbursts seem desperate, amplifying her credibility. The fallout was immediate. Clips of the exchange went viral, with MSNBC calling it a devastating takedown and Fox News framing Crockett as aggressive. On X, users shared the moment widely, with at Angramum239 posting, "Jasmine Crockett just schooled Pete Hegseth and he lost ID?" The video, titled "Crockett Humiliates Hegseth as He Screams," racked up millions of views. Supporters praised her for exposing Hegseth's weak arguments, while critics accused her of grandstanding. Hegseth took to Truth Social, calling her a radical Democrat who can't handle real debate. But the online consensus leaned toward Crockett's victory. Crockett's history of confronting power shaped her approach. She had clashed with Texas Republicans like Governor Greg Abbott, whom she criticized for his deportation policies, calling him out in a viral 2024 tweet for playing politics with people's lives. Her willingness to challenge figures like Hegseth made her a lightning rod, but also a hero to those who felt marginalized. She told the Grio in July 2025 that she faced constant threats, relying on grassroots donations for security due to limited congressional support. Yet she remained undeterred, saying, "If I'm making them mad, I'm doing something right." Hegseth's outburst reflected his broader struggles. A former military officer turned media personality, he had positioned himself as a defender of Trump's agenda. His role as a DOJ advocate put him in the spotlight, but Crockett's challenge exposed his reliance on rhetoric over substance. Post-hearing, he appeared on Newsmax, claiming Crockett had dodged the real issues. But the narrative had shifted, with analysts noting that Crockett's command of facts outshone Hegseth's emotional display. The hearing elevated Crockett's profile further. She became a sought-after speaker, appearing on CNN and MSNBC to discuss DOJ's impact. Her comments about Trump's leadership, including his trophy wives' rant at West Point in May 2025, underscored her broader critique of his administration's priorities. "We need leaders focused on people, not personal grudges," she told Anderson Cooper. Her ability to connect with audiences from grassroots activists to national viewers made her a formidable force. The confrontation also sparked a broader conversation about power dynamics. Crockett, a black woman in a predominantly white male Congress, faced expectations to stay in her place. Her refusal to do so resonated with those who saw her as a voice for the underrepresented. On X, one user wrote, "Jasmine Crockett didn't just humiliate Hegseth. She showed us what it looks like to fight back." Her words, "I don't need to twist facts," became a rallying cry for accountability. As the 2025 political season progressed, Crockett's moment with Hegseth solidified her as a leader to watch. She continued to critique DOJ, tying its policies to broader issues like healthcare access and economic inequality. Her ambition to lead the Oversight Committee gained traction, with supporters seeing her as a future powerhouse. For Hegseth, the hearing was a setback, exposing the limits of bluster against a prepared opponent. For Crockett, it was proof that truth, delivered with clarity and courage, could shift the narrative in a divided nation.